All-American Faceoff. Gauff versus Pegula for the Wuhan Open title. Trophy don't miss the showdown. The air was heavy with electricity. The sky above Wuhan glowed beneath the towering lights of the Optics Valley International Tennis Center, where 15,000 voices merged into a single heartbeat. Flags waved, cameras flashed, chants echoed. Tonight was history. For the first time in the Wuhan Open's vibrant legacy, two Americans, Coco Gauff and Jessica Pegula, stood across the net in the final. Two women, same flag, different generations, united by ambition, divided by fire. At stake, not just a trophy, not just the ranking points, but pride, legacy, and the heart of American tennis. Coco Gauff, just 21, the fearless force of a new era. Jessica Pegula, 31, the quiet storm, the steady architect of her own destiny. The crowd buzzed like an orchestra tuning before a symphony. Every note, every breath, every flash, waiting for the moment the ball would strike and history would begin. The road to the final. Coco's journey to the Wuhan final had been nothing short of a roller coaster. In the first round, she breezed past Shuai Zhang with her usual electric pace. In the quarters, she faced a fiery Laura Siegemund, surviving endless slices, awkward bounces, and drama-filled rallies. In the semis, she met Jasmine Paolini, Italy's smiling assassin. The match turned into a fireworks show, Coco's forehands exploding off the baseline, Paolini's grit pushing her to the edge. Coco won 6-4, 6-3, and raised her arms to the heavens. But her biggest victory wasn't a scoreline. It was belief. Belief that she could command any stage, anywhere, against anyone. Meanwhile, Jessica Pegula had played tennis that only veterans could produce. Calm, intelligent, and surgical. She dispatched tough opponents. Jing Qinwen, Daria Kasatkina, and then the world number one Aryna Sabalenka in a stunning comeback that made the headlines across every tennis outlet on earth. Pegula topples the queen. Wuhan in shock. The stage was now perfectly set. The teacher versus the student. The fire versus the frost. The moment versus the legacy. Tension before the first serve. Inside the tunnel leading to the court, Coco bounced on her toes, earbuds in, music blasting. Her playlist, a mix of Beyoncé, Kendrick Lamar, and gospel, her rhythm of faith and fight. She whispered under her breath, "You've worked too hard to fear anyone now." Pegula, standing a few feet away, leaned against the wall, eyes closed, breathing deep. No music, no words, just focus. She'd faced Coco before, practiced with her, laughed with her, even lost to her. But tonight wasn't about friendship. It was about supremacy. The announcer's voice cut through the tension. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the court, from the United States of America, Coco Gauff." The crowd roared like thunder. Then, and her opponent, also from the United States of America, Jessica Pegula. A second roar, equally loud, equally proud. Two women, two destinies. The stage was set. Set 1, Pegula's precision. The first serve cracked at 118 miles per hour. Coco opened with power, her racket echoing like a drumbeat across Wuhan's steel air. But Pegula, calm as ice, absorbed it. She redirected. She waited. Every rally was like a chess move, steady, meticulous, brilliant. Coco hit hard, Pegula hit smart. Coco ran wild, Pegula stayed anchored. At 3-3, Pegula's patience paid off. A perfectly timed lob, then a stunning cross-court backhand sealed the first break. Coco grimaced. The veteran was making her dance in all the wrong directions. Pegula served out the set 6-3. No celebration, just a glance upward and a quiet nod. Commentators murmured. Pegula's experience is dictating the pace. Gauff needs to ignite that spark. But Coco's spark was never far away. Between the lines, the battle within. On the bench, Coco closed her eyes. The crowd blurred. The noise vanished. All she could hear was her father's voice from years ago. "When the world doubts you, play louder." She opened her eyes, focused, alive. This wasn't over. Not even close. Across the net, Pegula toweled off, glancing briefly at Coco. She could see it, The fire was coming. She braced herself. The second set began like a storm. Set 2. Gauff's fire awakens. Coco hit her first ace. Then another. Her movement sharpened. Her confidence returned. She was flying now. Sliding, sprinting, spinning the crowd into madness. At 2-1, Coco broke Pegula with a forehand, so powerful it left a vapor trail. "Let's Giolo," she screamed, fist clenched. Pegula smirked. She'd expected this. The rallies grew longer, the tension thicker. Every point was a fist fight with rackets. At 5-3, Coco served for the set. Pegula had break points. Coco saved both with fearless winners. Then on set point, Coco hit an ace down the tee that split the court like lightning. Set to Gauff, 6-3. The stadium erupted. All square, 1-1 in sets. The night belonged to neither, yet both. Set 3, the war for Wuhan. As the clock struck 11:45 p.m., the final set began. The air was damp, the crowd unblinking. Pegula served first, solid as stone. Coco broke her rhythm instantly, firing returns deep and aggressive. The rallies? Ruthless, endless. Each ball carried emotion, pride, exhaustion, and defiance. At 2-2, Coco broke. At 3-2, Pegula broke back. They were matching blow for blow, will for will. At 4-4, Coco found another gear. She forced Pegula wide, then crushed a forehand winner down the line that painted perfection. The crowd roared, "Sixio, Cio." Pegula stepped up to serve at 4-5. Coco pounced, returning with fury. Pegula saved 2 match points with unshakable nerves. But on the third, Coco launched a running backhand pass that kissed the line. Pegula froze. The umpire's voice echoed. "Game, set, match, Gauff." Tears, triumph, and timeless respect. Coco dropped her racket, fell to her knees, and covered her face. The crowd exploded. Fireworks painted the Wuhan sky gold and red. Pegula walked to her, exhausted, smiling faintly. They hugged, both crying, both knowing they just created a masterpiece. Coco whispered, "You made me better." Pegula replied, "You already were." It wasn't victory versus defeat. A champion's morning. At dawn, the city was quiet. Coco walked along the Yangtze River, hoodie up, headphones in. Her trophy glistened in the early light beside her. She wasn't thinking of glory or fame. She was thinking of balance, how the pressure and the peace always coexist. Her phone buzzed. A message from Serena Williams. "That's how it's done, champ. Keep climbing." Coco smiled, tucked her phone away, and whispered to herself, "Still just getting started." Epilogue. A new chapter in American tennis. The headlines the next morning screamed across the world. All-American glory in Wuhan. Coco Gauff crowned champion after epic Pegula battle. The story wasn't just about who won. It was about what it meant for American tennis, for women's sports, for every dreamer who's ever watched the ball bounce and imagined themselves under those lights. Pegula had shown grace. Gauff had shown greatness. And together, they'd written one of the most beautiful finals in WTA history. And as Coco held the Wuhan trophy aloft once more, her reflection shimmering in gold, she smiled softly and whispered her mantra, "Breathe, believe, battle." Because champions rise not for the spotlight, but for the love of the game that made them. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.